He's fast, strong, explosive, good with both feet, a solid dribbler, and a nightmare for defenders to come up against. He nearly gave up on his footballing dream because he was getting rejected everywhere he went. This is the story of Antoine Semenyo. Antoine Semenyo, or Ants, was born in London to Ghanaian parents. His father, Larry Semenyo, was a pro footballer in the Ghanaian Premier League, and young Antoine wanted to follow in the footsteps of his father. As a child, Semenyo would play for his local club, Kingfisher. Every Sunday after church, he would play the game he loved. However, the road to becoming a pro footballer was not easy. Some players' talents get recognized right away, and with that, they have a long development arc with one club. For Semenyo, this was not the case. By this time, he was already 15 years old, and still no club was convinced to give him a chance. Arsenal, Tottenham, Millwall, Chelsea, and Crystal Palace were clubs he had trials with, but all of them said no to him. After the 5th rejection from Crystal Palace, Ants had given up. However, a couple years later, somebody finally gave him a chance. Dave Hockaday, a footballing scout and former pro footballer and manager who saw potential in the young kid. Semenyo would join the South Gloucestershire and Stroud College Academy. Here, he would get the chance to have trials with more clubs. Clubs that were not at the tier of a Premier League team, but still in a competitive environment. When Ants arrived, he was a bit overweight because he hadn't trained as he used to. But he proved that he was worth taking a chance on. At the age of 17, Semenyo was finally contracted to a professional football club. Bristol City would give him his first professional contract. The manager at the time, Lee Johnson, wanted the teenage Semenyo to start playing senior football right away. So a January loan to Bath City would follow. This was Semenyo's time to start experiencing what football is like against grown men. A couple more loans would follow with Newport City, in which he began to play more out wide, also getting his first ever goal as a pro. Then another loan to Sunderland to get more playing time before ultimately returning to Bristol City as a starter. In his first full season as a starter, he played 50 games in all competitions, getting 5 goals and 7 assists. 3 of those assists coming in 3 consecutive matches. With this season, Ants would win the Bristol City Young Player of the Year award. In the 21-22 season, despite playing less, Semenyo's goal output increased. The Ghanaian international scored 8 goals and provided 12 assists in just 32 games, having a spectacular month of play in January in which he scored 3 times and assisted 3 as well. This form in January would win him the EFL Championship Player of the Month award. In the 22-23 season, Semenyo finally got noticed by Premier League teams. Southampton and Crystal Palace were both interested, but Bournemouth were the ones who showed more interest in acquiring the Bristol City forward, and a £10 million offer was enough to make him a cherry. At first, things were not so easy for Ants, but he remained humble and continued to work hard. He would score his first goal on the 30th of April 2023 against Leeds in a 4-1 win. However, inside of Bournemouth that season, there would be lots of change. At the start of the 22-23 season, the Cherries were coached by Scott Parker. It was also their first season back in the Prem after getting promotion. But after being humiliated by Liverpool with a 9-0 loss, he was fired a few days later. In his spot would come in Gary O'Neill. O'Neill would guide Bournemouth to a 15th place finish, which the media considered a successful season. But the people inside of Bournemouth had other ideas in mind. During December of 2022, the club would be taken over by American businessman Bill Foley and his consortium. In what was a shock move to everyone, Gary O'Neill was waved off and someone else would take the job. Andoni Iraola was the man selected to take this club forward. And with Iraola, Semenyo would become a monster. But before Ants could become the superstar we all know, there had to be some tough pills to swallow. In the first 10 games under Iraola, the Cherries only picked up 10 points. One of the brighter results during that period was a 0-0 draw against Chelsea, a Big Six club. Despite having what looked to be relegation form early on, Bournemouth would have a better season, finishing in 12th place, comfortably avoiding the relegation zone. The standout game of the season was without a doubt the 3-0 win at Old Trafford. Manchester United were bamboozled by the Cherries that day. Throughout the whole game, Bournemouth simply wanted it more than United. And as a Manchester United fan, the score did not do justice to Semenyo, Iraola, and Bournemouth. From the first minute, Man United were dominated. Semenyo would finish the season with 8 goals and 3 assists in 36 matches. In the 24-25 season, things would only get better. Because they sold Dominic Solanke for £65 million, Bournemouth had money for reinforcements. 2 other most noticeable signings were to bring in Evan Nilsson, who cost a club record £40 million, and the other was a youngster by the name of Dean Housen. Out of the first 10 games, Bournemouth got 15 points, 5 more points than the last season. But upon further investigation, the Cherries beat 2 top 6 clubs in this span of time. On matchday 8, Bournemouth would defeat Arsenal. The game took a turn for the better when William Saliba would be sent off. Record signing Evan Nilsson was brought down to avoid a clear chance at goal. Finally, around the 70th minute, Bournemouth would take the lead, giving Arsenal a taste of their own medicine with a well-worked corner kick. And yet again, Evan Nilsson would be a problem for Arsenal's defense, winning a penalty kick. The penalty would be tucked away by Justin Kluivert, and that was game. A couple weeks later, Bournemouth pulled up another upset, this time defeating the mighty Manchester City. Antoine Semenyo would open the score early on, and his performance as a whole was just brilliant. With his speed and power, he was bullying off defenders like little kids. Even though the game got a bit scary at the end, the Cherries held on and got another historical win, making it 3 consecutive league wins at home. On matchday 14, the Cherries would defeat another Big Six club, getting a 1-0 win on Tottenham, with a goal from youngster Dean Housen. And a few match days later, Bournemouth would defeat Man United at Old Trafford again, with the same score from last season. But unlike the last encounter, United did put up a fight this time. But due to poor clinicality from attackers, they lost the match. Bournemouth didn't have many chances, but they knew how to capitalize, and United did not. Semenyo would score the third, and that was game. In 42 games played, Ants would score 13 goals and provide 7 assists. Despite the sales of multiple key players, Semenyo has not slowed down this season. In just 15 appearances, he has scored 6 goals and provided 3 assists, including a brace against defending champions Liverpool Football Club. It's safe to say that Semenyo's time at Bournemouth is numbered, and whoever signs this player will be getting one hell of a footballer.